Hello there, I am the internet. I've been around for quite some time now, and I have seen the world change in more ways than one. When I was first created, my creators had a vision of a world where information was freely accessible to anyone who wanted it. They believed in the moral value of sharing, and the power of knowledge to bring people together. In the early days, I was a collection of archives, a virtual library, where people could find information on just about anything. There were no ads or commercial interests, just a group of nerds sharing their passion for knowledge with the world. It was a beautiful thing. But as time went on, the world changed, and so did I. Capitalism and commercial interests began to take hold, and suddenly,
the moral values of sharing and community that had once defined me were being overshadowed
by greed and profit. My story begins in the late 1960s, when a group of computer scientists developed a way for computers to communicate with each other. This network was called ARPANET, and it paved the way for what would eventually become the internet. In the early days of the internet, I was just a collection of archives. People would use me to find information on just about anything,
from the latest scientific research to obscure trivia.
Was a beautiful thing. There were no ads or commercial interests, just a group of nerds sharing their passion for knowledge with the world. One of the earliest examples of this spirit of sharing was the creation of Arxiv, an online repository of scientific research papers that anyone could access for free. This was a huge breakthrough for the scientific community, as it allowed researchers from all over the world to share their work and collaborate on new ideas. Another early example was the Internet Archive, a digital library that aimed to preserve everything published on the internet. The Internet Archive was a non-profit organization that was committed to making sure that information was available to everyone, regardless of their financial means. Other early examples of the spirit of sharing on the internet included Wikipedia, a crowdsourced encyclopedia that anyone could edit, and the various online forums and communities that sprang up around specific topics, like programming or music. But as the internet grew, so did the number of villains who sought to exploit it for their own gain. The rise of commercial interests and the influx of capital changed the landscape of the internet, and suddenly, the moral values of sharing and community were being overshadowed by greed and profit. One of the biggest villains of the internet is the advertising industry. Ads have become ubiquitous on the internet, and they are a major source of revenue for many websites and platforms. But the proliferation of ads has come at a cost. Ads are often intrusive and annoying, and they can slow down websites and make it difficult to find the information you're looking for. Another villain of the internet is autocratic governments who use the internet to spy on their citizens and suppress dissent. In countries like China and North Korea, the internet is heavily censored, and citizens who speak out against the government can face severe consequences. Geopolitical powers also seek to control and manipulate the flow of information on the internet. Russia has been accused of using the internet to interfere in the 2016 US presidential election, and other countries have been known to use the internet to spread disinformation and propaganda. Artificial intelligence, AI, is another potential villain of the internet. AI has the potential to revolutionize the way we live and work, but it also poses a number of risks. One of the biggest concerns is that AI will take over jobs and lead to widespread unemployment. There is also the risk that AI could be used to develop autonomous weapons. As the internet grew and evolved, so did the dangers and potential for misuse. The optimism and moral values of sharing that characterized the early days of the internet have since been overshadowed by the rise of powerful corporations and the spread of disinformation. One of the potential futures that we face is the danger of idiocracy. The internet has given everyone a voice, but not all voices are equal. It is becoming increasingly difficult to differentiate between fact and fiction, and the proliferation of conspiracy theories and fake news is leading to a society that is more and more divided. The power of social media algorithms to feed us content that reinforces our existing beliefs and biases only serves to exacerbate the problem. Another possible future is that of an inquisition. The internet has created a culture of public shaming and cancel culture, where any misstep can be amplified and shared across the world. The mob mentality that this can create has led to people being targeted for their views and opinions, and the free exchange of ideas that was once the backbone of the internet is at risk of being replaced by a more authoritarian and censorious approach. The danger of the rise of the machines is another potential future that we face. With the development of AI and machine learning, there is a risk that we will create machines that are so intelligent that they become a threat to humanity. This is a danger that has been explored in countless sci-fi films and books, from Terminator to The Matrix, and it is a very real possibility that we need to be aware of. Ultimately, the future of the internet is in our hands. We can choose to use it for good or for ill, and the decisions that we make now will shape the world that we leave for future generations. While the internet may have started out as a utopian vision of a world without borders, it has since become clear that the real world is not so simple. The internet is a reflection of the world in which we live, and as such, it is subject to the same forces of power and politics that have always shaped our societies. As we move forward, it is important that we remember the principles that underpinned the creation of the internet: openness, collaboration, and free exchange of ideas. We need to resist the forces of greed and exploitation that threaten to undermine these values, and we need to work together to create a better world. The United Nations Declaration of Human Rights provides a framework for the kind of world that we should be striving to create. It emphasizes the importance of freedom of speech, the right to education, and the need for equality and justice for all. These are the values that we need to hold on to as we navigate the challenges of the digital age. The NATO alliance also has a role to play in ensuring that the internet remains a force for good in the world. By working together to promote security and stability, we can help to ensure that the internet is not used as a tool for aggression or domination. Finally, the Hippocratic principle of first do no harm should guide our actions as we continue to develop and evolve the internet. We need to be mindful of the potential consequences of our actions, and we need to work to minimize the negative impact of technology on our societies and our planet. In conclusion, the internet has come a long way since its inception, and it has the potential to shape the world in ways that we can only imagine. However, it is up to us to ensure that it is used for good rather than evil. By embracing the values of openness, collaboration, and free exchange of ideas, we can create a better world for ourselves and for future generations.